For a while, I didn't even really know what Engineard did. I just like, oh, they just take care of hosting. And I didn't realize how much they do because I wasn't used to that.
At Pivotal, what we do is we build applications for our customers. We take a product from concept to deployed application, usually in about 3 to 6 months.
We bring agile best practices to client projects for startups and for large companies.
Pivotal's one of the largest Rails shops going. There wasn't a big market for Rails when we first started doing it, but the economics of it were so compelling. You could get stuff done so quickly that we started to see adoption really pick up. And at this point, Rails is probably about 80% of our business.
Everyone just kept talking about Ruby and how you can develop web applications X times faster when X is somewhere between 3 and 10.
When it's so much faster and more efficient and more reliable to develop in Rails, it's very hard to make the case for why you would do the same thing in Java.
Coming from my background, which is Java, there was a lot of sort of like, wow, I don't have to do that anymore type of moments.
I mean, the fact that testing is baked into the framework and is so central to how people do Rails development was really appealing to us.
That has always been Pivotal's big goal, is to do everything test first. Coming to Rails, it was easy because it had test frameworks built in.
Every time I talk to CIOs, they know that they have some Rails running somewhere in their organization. They don't always know what the projects are, but they know it's there. And then some organizations are much more forward-looking and saying, wow, what's so compelling about this, that they're starting to really embrace it. We think that Rails adoption is extremely compelling, and we think that business case for it's going to be harder and harder for companies to ignore. I mean, a big shift that's happened in computing in the last 2 years is that people stopped owning their own hardware. 5 years ago, the first thing a new startup would do is you go figure out what hardware they wanted to buy, try to find colo space. And that's just not the way it works anymore. We first started talking with Engineard because we needed somebody to fill this gap in our offering. We ended up having to do operations ourselves a lot, which was okay when we were smaller, but it didn't really scale, and it was always a problem for the development teams.
The value of working with a company like Engineard, for me, is the ability to just completely offload the operational aspects of a lot of the production work for deploying a website.
Those are the type of things that my company is, we're not actually, that's not our expertise. We don't want to do. The whole idea of farming that out to Engineard is extremely powerful.
Engineard was in the position to actually do a lot of the operations heavy lifting that we didn't really want to be involved in.
It helps your peace of mind, I guess, is the main thing. It's just like the thing that you don't have to worry about.
We need a reproducible process. We need something that provides reliable results. The fact that we've been able to use Engineard effectively for that has been really helpful. There are some very talented people on staff over there. There's really bright folks.
Very smart, very sharp, and also very willing to help and flexible. And how are we going to take this massive amount of iron that Engineard has and throw it at your project?
The fact they're contributing to so many projects that are visible within the Rails community and that are adding value to the Rails community, I think does make a difference.
I think they're a good place to be if you want to be at the forefront of the Ruby stack, and you want to actually make the Ruby stack do things that it's never done before.
My favorite thing about working with a company like Engineard is that we don't have 3 o'clock in the morning emergencies.
We don't want to get woken up at 3 in the morning with some disk failure. We want Engineard to take care of that.
For the most part, operations just is something that you don't have to worry about. And I think that's the best 3 a.m. story, is that I got a really good night's sleep at 3 a.m.